This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
I sat down at the end of the bar next to a married couple, but no sooner had I sat than they stood and wandered off with their drinks. I looked to my right, and who was sitting at the end of the bar? None other than Al Becker from Nebraska. Nebraska and Missouri really aren't that far apart from each other. In fact, one corner of Missouri even gets so friendly as to play just the tip with Nebraska, so I felt like Al and I could share some commonalities. I slid over, leaving a chair between us, and waited for the bartender to take my drink order. When he looked up at me, I pointed at him. "Margarita? On the rocks?" "Lime? Strawberry? Raspberry?" he asked, already pulling out a glass and filling it with ice. "Lime. Extra salt, por favor." I turned, glancing at Al, and scanned the beach looking for Mrs. Al. "Where are all the women?" Al swiveled his chair to look up at me. Seated on a bar stool, he really didn't seem that much shorter than I was, but his feet dangled inches above the ground, while mine were flat-footed on the concrete. "Eh?" he said, cupping his ear. I leaned in a little closer. "The women!" I shouted. "Where are they?" His mouth formed a little O, as it had done in the plane terminal. "She's taking a nap. Jet lag." His voice was hoarse, like he had an overabundance of phlegm in the back of his throat. I nodded, glad to know that Mrs. Al was catching up on her Z's. "Where are the rest of the women?" I shouted over the low rumbling of music on the bar's speakers. "Huh?" More ear-cupping. I glanced up at the bartender, pleading with my eyes for him to help me out. "It's early," was his response. I shook my head at Al. "Where are you from?" he asked. "Missouri," I said. More ear-cupping. "Missouri!" I shouted. He nodded. "What part?" "Kansas City." I made sure my mouth was closer to his ear this time. "The Royals had a good year last year." I nodded while I sipped the drink the bartender handed me. "You're from Nebraska, right?" Al nodded. "What'd you do there?" "Huh?" "For a job. Work," I shouted. Hell, was I going to have to break out Pictionary? How'd his wife do this all day? "I owned an implement dealership. Case IH. No John Deere?" "Fuck John Deere." "Right on, man. This your first time here?" The guy behind the bar laughed. "Nah, this is my second time." Al took a sip of his drink. "This year. We got friends here, but we're gonna live here full time now." "Shit, that'd be nice. Full time? At this resort?" Al nodded. "You hit the lotto?" He shook his head. "I did all right over the years." Then he thought about it for a second and decided I must look safe enough to tell his secret to. "Plus, I bought Bitcoin at $0.25. Cashed out at just under 20 in December." "Dollars?" "1,000. I blinked. "Total?" "Each." "Fuck." He nodded. "So, you're doing all right then," I said, finding it difficult to swallow my drink now. "Warren Buffett said there's no future in cryptocurrency. See what he knows," chuckled Al.